Good afternoon, Vallejo. You are watching VCAT, your hometown television station. This is Community Forum, and I'm your host, Maria Bitagon. You can see our show on Channel 27 at Comcast or Channel 99 at AT&T Uverse. We are shown on Thursdays and Sundays at 6:30 p.m. I want to welcome my guest today. Her name is Rhuenette Alum. She's right now representing a papa of Solano County, but she is basically from AT&T. So I have known her forever, and I can call her my sister because I have known her probably, 25 years?
Oh, my.
We don't want to talk about that. Okay, so Rhuenette, please share with us a few things about you that would help us to get to know you better. Some of us know you as a director with AT&T, but I know there is more to you than that, especially in the project that you have today.
Oh, well, hi, Maria. I'm very delighted to be here and share some space with you and time. This is exciting.
Yes.
A lot of good things going on.
Great.
And I'm particularly excited to talk about the current project that I'm working on. Yes, you're right. I do work with AT&T. And have done so for a number of years.
Yes.
Spend time in the community development arena, working with local organizations, 501c3s, as well as working with local government officials, mayors, and as well as those at the state level and on. And generally around the area of public policy issues and concerns that may affect our local communities. And I've been doing that for a number of years throughout Solano County and other counties to the north, south, east, and west of us. So I do that, and what it affords me to do is to work with a lot of nonprofit organizations and different cultures and committees and forums and such for the purpose of trying to help them move through some issues, develop a stronger platform, enhance their voices, develop their operations. There's a plethora of things that are needed. And so what I'm happy to do is, as a representative of AT&T, we get a chance to assist in various ways. So the connection for the company is that of how do we assist the communities that we work in, the communities that we invest in becoming stronger and better and more viable to the greater community. Yes. So that's what I do, generally speaking, and I wish I could say 9 to 5, but it's never 9 to 5. It's just
more than that.
It's on and weekends and so on it goes. But it's fun. It's what I signed up to do, and I enjoy it tremendously.
That's important.
Yeah, and it is important. I mean, you make a commitment to the community, and you're there, and I want people to know they can call me and they can depend on us.
So what prompted you to come and work with AT&T?
Okay, that's a good question. Yeah. I was like, what prompted me to do that? Let me see. When I was a baby, I thought about, I think for the most part, number one, it's an extremely interesting company to work with. Some of the values are really my core values.
Okay.
When I was in college, I was a communications major in college, and so I used to do this kind of stuff behind the camera and so on, and really loved it. And I thought, well, I'd love to work with communications, but I wasn't quite sure what it would look like. And all of my good friends wanted to go to Hollywood and Los Angeles, and I wanted to do something a little bit more technical and such. In any case,
yes,
someone suggested you should take a look at AT&T, and at the time Pacific Bell, and I thought, that's a phone company. What do they do? And lo and behold, I did check it out, and I was just amazed by the types of programs and processes and what it took to deliver a service to our customers and how technically involved it was. And it was just far beyond anything I had thought about. And I thought, gosh, to run this kind of an operation that's international takes a lot of skill and a lot of talent, and so that's what I did.
You're not only technical, you are very much into the community and in a passionate way.
Yes, and that was the aspect of it that also appealed to me quite a bit. I hail from the great city of New York, and when I was growing up, we spent our time around the dinner table talking generally about a couple of things, but one thing for sure. And it was always about social justice, civil rights and social justice. That's what my parents talked to us about. And what that meant for them and what it was to mean for us was you need to get involved with your communities. You have to. So we always volunteered for all kinds of things. It was part of who we were and part of who I am. And to know that at the time when I was thinking about joining AT&T, then Pacific Bell, that they had an operation like that, it just made a lot of sense to me. And so that's kind of what prompted me to do that.
So, you know, aside from family values, what inspires you?
What inspires me? Let's see. A couple of things. One big one is children.
Oh.
Children inspire me. I get a kick out of watching them grow and develop and being a part of it. They're the best people to play with. They're the best people to learn how to play. They can teach you things as an old gal like me have forgotten. And that is to kind of relax a little bit and just have a little bit of fun when it's time to have fun. I find that kids have the ability to help me learn and relearn that better than anyone else. Yes. So I enjoy kids. I enjoy being around them. That doesn't mean you should bring your kids over to my house or anything else.
Not babysitting.
That's not what that means. That means that when I do have them around, I enjoy them tremendously. But, and the other side is I enjoy being around people my age and older. And a good reason for that is just the wisdom that many of us bring to the table. I love learning through other people's experiences and such.
But you're not only in the African American community. You reference your volunteer work with APAPA, which is Asian Pacific Islander American Public Affairs Association. What are you doing with that?
That's a mouthful, isn't it? APAPA for short. Well, number one, it's an organization that's been around for a number of years now, and it's just growing by leaps and bounds. We're in the double digits with chapters throughout the country, from New York to Texas to Chicago, as well as here in California and beyond. Started by a young man and a few of his friends, C.C. Yen. Some people know him through Solano County. Started it, and as a result, he asked a few folks to come and join. And it's been growing ever since, and so I was one of those and decided what I loved about the organization and continue to this day is that the focus is all about civic engagement. How do we get more people engaged in our communities? How do we get them to understand in order to have your voice be heard, you need to go out and talk to the community, you need to also be registered to vote, and you need to vote. You need to also spread that energy and share that with other people so they can do the same. Many elections, not just the recent one, but many of the elections have taught us that there's some importance to and some value to the vote that we bring to the table. So we spend time helping young people develop professionally through our internship program. We have a 10-week summer internship program for young people in their last year of high school and early through college. And the crux of it is all about how do you get engaged civically and participate. It's about participation. So I love it because that's how I was raised, and that's what I thought about. And I thought, I mean, there are other organizations that do the same, but I just happened to choose this one at this time.
I guess because you know also the people whom you're joining. So
and I know the people. That always helps too.
As an African American, what interested you that you would join this organization? See, it's just there's a two part to it. This is an Asian organization, obviously. But you know what? You were actually attracted to join it.
It's
and because you were asked also to join.
Well, and not just that. It's the values are the same.
Yes.
The things that we talked about around our table, our kitchen table, are the same things that CC and others talk about as well, from a different perspective. But the bottom line is we're all interested in how do we improve the communities and what role can we play? What tasks can we take on in order to improve the community? And so the focus is not just to engage just Asian Americans, although it's important. The focus is to really engage everyone in the community, and I like that a lot. I like that. The other aspect, little known to many people, is that here in Vallejo, and particularly, there's a strong NAACP focus here in Vallejo. CCN was very much involved in the early development of the NAACP here within Vallejo and
I think San Francisco as
well as San Francisco, but definitely here in the Solano County, area. And he will tell you without any hesitation whatsoever, what he learned from the NAACP is what he practices now throughout the APAPA organization. So there's a relationship there that, as I say, many people don't know that, but it's one that should be explored a little bit more. Because you know what it says?
Yes.
It says that we're all the same.
Yes.
It says that we're connected.
That's right.
It says that we have things that are in common that we probably should take advantage of so that we can help each other.
Yes.
And we need to learn about that.
So this guest speaker seems to have the same ideas you do. Your guest speaker for this next leadership, this coming August 11th, it seems like you have the same idea. And so could you please tell who our speakers going to be at the APAPA?
So August 11th, we're going to have a celebration of the internship program that I mentioned to you. So all of those young people, and we've got about 13 of them, and we have a junior set of individuals, thank you, a junior group that are under high school age, who will be celebrated because they've completed the summer internship program. And so we'll be working through that, and the theme of the program itself is I'm your brother. How are we connected? Let's talk about those connections. So we have Dr. Vernon Andrews, who will be a speaker. He's a professor at Chico State as well as San Jose State.
Okay.
And he spent time in the Pacific Islands. And so he has an opportunity to bring a different perspective as an African American who's familiar with the Pacific Island diaspora and all the various cultures, and lived in New Zealand and so on, as well as his own as an African American male growing up in the United States. So he brings that perspective. With him will be our local well-known Mel Orpiglia. And Mel Orpiglia, who we all know has written a book and published on Filipinos in Vallejo, and tells us the story and the history about the relationship between African Americans and Filipinos in the early development here in Vallejo, specific to those who came back from World War II and how they gathered together and worked together, and some intermarried and so on. But there's a definite history there that, again, just needs to be exposed. And again, for the sole purpose of understanding that we're connected in so many different ways.
That's right.
We need to do a little bit more in understanding how that works and what it is we can do to help each other. So the program on August the 11th is going to be up in Vacaville at the Yin Ranch. Is the theme of it, again, is just trying to figure out and explore how do we figure out how we are connected. So Mel and Dr. Andrews will have a conversation that we kind of get a chance to peer into as they talk about local understanding versus this international understanding, and figure out how that all meshes together. So I'm excited about that. I think it's a good program that we put together.
So I'm very interested in asking you, because I've known you almost like forever. But I have never asked you, have you ever spent any time in any part of Asia?
I have. I did a couple of tours to Japan. And was initially, the first time I went, I was working as an executive on loan, AT&T executive on loan to the NAACP. And the NAACP at the time wanted to go to Japan and start a different relationship. They already have chapters out there. They're internationally located as well. And I was asked to participate and kind of pull the logistics together, which I did. We brought in several elected people from around the country and had a chance to meet with different Japanese dignitaries as well as electeds and talk about understanding African Americans, and more so the diversity and the importance of diverse cultures in the United States. And we're doing that. We were doing that with a community that's that tends to not support multicultural relations, not necessarily relations, but multicultural communities, and that's just based on their history and so on. So we were just trying to give them an opportunity to see and hear from us directly in terms of the relationships that we foster here in the United States. So I did that. And then I went again. I was asked to go back, and a group of women wanted to do something similar, and so we wanted to meet with a group of Japanese women
Yes.
to talk about what is it that African American women are concerned about, and do we share any similarities with Japanese women? It turns out that women are women are women are women. And we found out that we did. So it was interesting. It was interesting for me.
Okay,
yeah.
so I heard that you're working in a program that's open to the community. Can you tell us about the secret program?
A secret
It's
program.
not a secret program. Yeah, so what is this program that you're so very much, because I know that you're in the community a lot, and so what is specifically the target of this program?
Well, there's not a secret program.
Okay.
It's not me to do too much of anything secret.
Yeah. No, it's
But
not,
if you're talking about APAPA, that is the program that we've been focused on, that I've been focused on.
Okay.
And the program that's coming up is the one we just referenced for August the 11th,
Yes.
where we're going to have our celebration. So, and I'd love to have a number of people come out. It would be great to see African Americans, Filipinos, Chinese, Hispanic, Latinos, and so on, sort of come together and see just what it is that we're all interested in. And if civic engagement is it, this is a place where you can kind of talk with people who share similar thoughts as you do. Or as they do. So that's what that's going to be about. And we've got, of course, the celebration with the interns and what they've done, because they're placed all over the county right now in various locations and businesses and elected officials. In addition to that, so full 5-course dinner we're going to have from Lynn's Catering. We're going to also have some entertainment that we're looking forward to, and it's a young lady that many people know, and we're just excited about having her as a performer. But Cecile Alacon Inocentes.
Inocentes is she's probably here from this area.
Yeah, she was.
With, and Mel or Pilia would know her, and the rest of them, Greg and Gloria and Jess and Hermie. They probably know her because we have. She has performed in the community.
Yes.
Community.
So we're happy we get to share in her talent as well. So we're going to be featuring her as one of our performers to the program. We also will have big raffle that we're giving away. It's a big raffle, and the raffle is for a round trip ticket to anywhere Southwest flies, but not just one ticket, not two, not three. 4 round trip tickets anywhere Southwest flies.
Now
that's a big deal.
Right.
I think that's a big deal. So we're excited about that, and a number of auction items that will be featured. So
whom do they get in touch with?
So there's several ways to do that. One is just to access the website, which is of course apapa.org, apapa.org. The other is you can call the number, and I never remember numbers, so I have to read it, in the 707 area code 451-0130. And it's extension, 17. But a good place to go really quickly, because we've got Eventbrite set up, so you can just buy your tickets that way. But in any case, it's just to go to apapa.org. That'll do it. Yeah.
So is there anything you want to communicate to the public? You can ask for help. You know the limitations of asking for help.
Yes.
And so, so you can address through this camera.
I would love to hear from and see in person people who are so interested in trying to understand, why do I need to learn more about that culture or another culture? Why do I need to do that? And the answer is because you get a chance to learn about yourself. You get an opportunity to learn as things that you might not even know in your own history, in your own culture, that gives you an opportunity to connect with someone else, and it helps to enrich all of our lives. I'd like to see people show up. I'd like to see some of them come with an expressed curiosity that says, I know you, Maria, but I really don't. Let's talk. I had no idea that we had a shared history in any way here in Vallejo. I had no idea that you have people in New York City, and I just didn't know. And you don't get to know that until you start talking about it. So I'd like people to come and be really curious and show up for the purpose of learning more about themselves.
Yes, that is so great. I mean, this is, you know, and then you ask the question, how can the community help to create a successful opportunity for learning about one another at this event? And that's what exactly you are addressing.
That's exactly how you do it. And you know, hopefully you're in a place, always find yourself in a place where you shouldn't be too afraid to ask what you don't know.
Yes.
Where are you from? How did you grow up? My sister-in-law is Filipino, and my nieces, of course. And I just, you know, and I say to them all the time, the kids, not my sister-in-law, they've gotten so far away from their own culture, their birth culture and whatnot, that they need to go back home. You know, I mean, they have several homes, but one of them is to not lose touch with who you are, but also understand how it fits together with the current culture. Because some of them know hip-hop songs better than anybody I've ever met in my life, and I was thinking, where did you? And I forgot. It's like, these are young people. Of course they know these things. But it's always interesting when I see young people together, because they all blend together.
That's right.
I mean, they just blend so nicely together from spending time with each other.
And because my daughter just loves Oakland.
Yeah.
So she likes the culture there.
Very cultural.
She like also, you know, she likes the people there. She has been there for probably 10 years.
Oh, okay.
And my daughter, my youngest daughter, is in New York for the last 20 years, and have 2 children there in New Jersey and New York.
Well, talk about a place to learn about different cultures. New York City is certainly and it exemplifies the opportunity to learn about various cultures. But so does this state. So does this county. This county is probably more diverse than any other county. And than any other county that I know, at least in the North Coast area. And the fact that you can learn. Sometimes learning through the foods we eat. Try a different restaurant. Go and try something you haven't eaten. It's a good way to get to know people, is through the food that we eat, you know? Yeah.
So that we do that all the time. So, so is there anything else that you want to emphasize, you know, both in your role as a director at AT&T and as in your role as community relations for Apapasa?
Again, I think the most important, at least as I continue to grow and learn, I think the most important thing for us as we continue to try to survive in much more healthy ways is to connect and know your neighbors. Connect with people who don't look like you, who don't walk like you, but they bleed like you, and they eat like you, and they do all kinds of other things as human beings, but to try and get to know who they are, by not being afraid to be curious and asking the question, how are you today? And where did you come from? And where did you grow up? And having some time to spend with each other. I'd like to see more of that happen.
I also like to see that we may, because everybody's different, that we can talk about the differences in a very nice way.
In a very nice way, yeah.
And, and that's, not in an angry way, but to be accepting of one another in their own, special way.
I think that naturally we all do that, and sometimes we catch ourselves, and sometimes you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, and that's unfortunate. But if we just allow our naturalness to take over, we have a natural curiosity. We want to know a little bit more about people. We want to. I can see it in the eyes of many. I'm sure you do too. But this event on August the 11th in Vacaville, it's at the Yen Ranch, will give you an opportunity to see different people that typically do not come together on a regular basis. And this is an opportunity to see different differences and also figure out how similar you are.
Yes. So I want to thank you for coming today and for expressing your thoughts and your feelings, and also for telling all the people who you are, actually. That is so great, for people to know who you are and what you do in the community. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
If there's anything I can do for AT&T or a Papa, please don't hesitate to call.
Come to our event on August the 11th in Vacaville from 5 to 9:30.
Okay, that will be great.